What Trump did in the last 24 hours really is mind-blowing. And it shows that what leadership actually we've been missing over the last, really Trump's first term, but the last 20, 30, 40 years in government. We'll talk about what he did the last 24 hours and some of the reasons that he did them. And again, when we have accountability, when we have a smart sensibility and understanding that common sense is in control again, you'll realize, well, it makes sense to do that because of this, and we'll discuss all that. Also, we're going to discuss Walmart. What is their plan for 2025? They just released almost like $1 trillion plan of how their future looks for this next year. Is it grim? It's a blast. They put everybody on an announcement saying this is what their goals are to do for this next upcoming year. Also, there was a food recall. Now, the reason I want to bring it up, we'll bring up one from Walmart, but we're going to bring up another one that no one really talked about. It shows the brokenness in our food system. And I think this goes back to why it's important to make sure we know where our food comes from. Because the more that we allow it to stay in boxes, the more we allow it to last longer, the more we allow it to go through so many hands, the more chance it has to be bad for us. We're going to discuss all these stories and a few more. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to the Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to our channel, thank you very much for being here. Please subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like the content of today's video. Remember, we do a giveaway for each month, so today is our last day. We always give you one more day just in case. So anyone and everyone who has not subscribed, who has not commented, who's not given us a thumbs up, please do that today so that way you will be entered into the giveaway for January. This will be on this video, also on the Life with Colby Mac and the Max Life. Now, if you remember yesterday when I showed you this room, it was full of tables, it was full of coolers, it was full of all the things that we needed to butcher. We were able to break down the hog and we talked about sustainability. We showed you exactly what we had on the other channel. So go check out the Max Life or Life with Colby Mac. Life with Colby Mac, we really talk about why we raise these hogs and again, food sustainability, as we talked yesterday, being really the most or the biggest asset that you need when it comes to taking care of your family, goods and services. Now let's jump into these stories. First, let's talk about Walmart, and then we're gonna move right into some of this food problems with recalls, because they kind of go hand in hand, and then we're gonna jump right into what Trump did in the last 24 hours, because it is a game changer when it comes to politics. So first, Walmart comes out with two major announcements. So Walmart comes out with two major announcements. One is they said they will compete more with Amazon. Now, they actually took a pretty good bit of market share this last year in online sales. Now, they're nothing compared to Amazon, but they are starting to make inroads. Their goal is to try to move more to online with retail items. Now, here's where the big announcement comes in, and this is where I want to really hone into, because this is going to come down to your food. They made an announcement saying there is no secret. We will try to invest upwards of almost $1 trillion, really $800 billion, into making sure that Walmart builds a grocery option more than they do the retail option. Now, these stores are huge. I mean, they just redid our Walmart locally and put all brand new clothing in there and all. But to be honest with you, most people are not shopping in bricks and mortar anymore. Now, they will keep, Target and Walmart both have said that they're going to keep bricks and mortar and they're going to keep doing retail sales there. But they do know that everybody's moving online. But they did say for 2025, their goal is to put more emphasis on the grocery side. Because even though some people buy things from the grocery online and some people get stuff sent to their home, ultimately people still shop for groceries. So what Walmart came out and said, their spokesperson said, is they want to really hone into making sure they build a bigger market for food. Walmart also stated that over the last 4 years, because of the cost of goods, because people are struggling, because the market, Walmart actually has grown in market share even with people shopping, because the higher end shoppers that they once did not get, they're starting to get because of how bad the market is. People are getting more smart to say, you know what, it's better to go to Walmart, buy it all in one place than go to some high-end boutique and buy this, go to this farmer's market and buy this. Now, I challenge you to still buy from your local farmers markets. But that doesn't change the fact that Walmart all of a sudden started really taking big market share. Now, here's what I would say, and again, Walmart's not listening to me, but one thing I've noticed is they started putting in healthier options. We drink only water and milk from our house. We make kombucha here locally at our house too, but we like what they call a Zevia. It's just a non-GMO, sugar-free drink that has Zevia as a sweetener, and they make root beers and things like that. So it's a perfect like thing and gift for our kids, kind of like a sweet treat for the kids that is very healthy. They started putting a lot more of that in there. They've put the Olippops. They put some of the Whole Foods food that everybody goes to these high-end markets into Walmart. Now that is encouraging, because what I do want to see is more of their market become more accessible to quality food, not just junk. There was a study that showed that 69% of food in any grocery store is mostly full box, heavy preservatives, and absolutely not really good for you. So if only 31% is food that you can say that's actually healthy for you, and you're not buying from, local farmers markets, and you're eating fast food all the time, then you see how bad our diets are. So there's a few things encouraging about this. I love the fact that they're going to keep doing competition with Amazon. That keeps our prices low online. Again, no matter if you like Amazon or Walmart, people use them each and every day. But here's what I really do like, is that they want to grow their share of market when it comes to groceries and try to offer a better quality grocer. Now, does that mean they're going to do that? I don't know. But I will say this, they're starting to pay higher wages. They're starting to take care of their employees more and more. So this is not a bad thing. Remember, Doug McMillon, the CEO of Walmart, did meet with Trump. He was one of the ones that met with Trump and reversed DEI policies over this last few weeks. So we're seeing encouragement, not just with Target, not just with Home Depot, not just with all these bigger stores, but even with Walmart. Now, here's my push. I always want to tell you about local. We have a local grocer here. To be honest with you, we've went in there, but they don't offer a lot here in our little store. Walmart is about the only place that most people, if you don't have a farm like us, has to shop. So no matter if you love or hate them, for most places, Walmart might be their only option. So if they can offer better quality food, then that's a game changer. Now, let's go to the big cities. What we've seen in the big cities, the inner cities, a lot of the bodegas and the corner markets, most of it, and here it is, 95% of the food offers in some of these bodegas and these corner markets, sometimes they're not in the most opportune places. They have 90 to 95% of preserved foods there and junk food there. Not good quality. So to hear someone like, Walmart and even Target kind of backtrack a little bit and say, okay, we're going to add more value to the market. We're going to add more value to the groceries. We're going to get more quality there. It's a good thing. And that's actually encouraging to me. Even though I grow my own food, even though I want you to grow your own food, I still believe that if you have a fallback that you can get some healthier options there, it's a good thing. And that brings me up to the next two stories. Now, there was an outbreak earlier in the month, and this was a Walmart announcement saying with the broccoli. Now, that has passed, but they were saying it was a listeria breakout. Again, this is why we always say, please, grow your own food. And if you're not growing it, make sure you're getting it from a reputable source. Or if you're buying it, for instance, buy the organic. This was not an organic broccoli. It was in a packaged plastic bag. So sometimes instead of buying something like that, you may can find a better value of it. You may can find an organic version of it that's better for you than some of this. But here's the main thing I want to bring up about this. This is a New York Post article that was shared just a few days ago. It says, Lay's potato chips recalled classified at the highest risk level. Consumption could cause death. Now, this was a story 2 days ago. And I was thinking about that. I was thinking, here's something is one of the biggest providers of processed food. I mean, chips are actually some of the worst things that you can eat. And of that, it was put in the highest risk level of consuming and being dangerous for you because of something they had, or it was a recall safety. When we rely on food, we hope to have food that's good quality. Like we were just talking about, we want you to have good quality food, so it's good that some grocery stores are adding that back in. However, when it comes down to it, that still doesn't make it healthy. That still doesn't make it where we can trust every source. Because remember, it has to get to Walmart some way. Does your Walmart have gardens growing around it or has cows? No, they don't. So no matter how good in quality a grocery may be, like Whole Foods or Fresh Markets or Publix, or you name it, any high-end, even boutique grocery store, unless they have the gardens and the cows and everything around them, they're going to have some kind of processing or time between in lapse that food could be contaminated. Now, this was Lay's potato chips. This will affect millions of people because millions of people live on junk food. There was a story that came out that said McDonald's feeds on average 46 million people their food every day. Now, please don't take this wrong, but you're eating toxic food every day. Every bit of their food is made from bad quality preservatives. Nothing against McDonald's or Lay's. They're in business. They have freedom to be in business, but you actually need to know what you're eating and the garbage you're eating. Well, it's great that Lay's came out and said that there's a warning on it, but to be honest with you, there should be a warning on it always. I think of cigarettes and how they have the little Surgeon's General warning or whatever it may be. Every aspect of food that has GMO quality and all these preservatives, they should have a label on them. I think that's why it's so scary to the political elite that RFK is getting in there. Is because he's wanting to change how things are done. Look at Steak and Shake coming and saying they're going to cook all in beef tallow. I want to show you this wheel, and I'm going to try to blow it up and get a better picture of it for you. But of the 550 companies that are consumer brands that we eat, we partake, we put on our skin, that we consume in our body, of those brands, there is only 12 companies that own all of them. So everything that you eat is pretty much owned by this monopolized group. Now, of that group, you have Mars, Coca-Cola, Danone, Nestle, Unilever, P&G, PepsiCo. None of them, General Mills, not one of those companies say that we're trying to actually make your health better. Think about what the ones I just named. I just named Mars, Coca-Cola, General Mills, Nestle, Unilever, Procter & Gamble, PepsiCo. Most every one of their brands that they're selling you is modified food and has tons of preservatives on it. Now, the reason I want to bring this up and how serious it is, and we're talking about this Walmart expanding their grocery, yes, I want you to eat healthy. Yes, I want you to buy the best quality that you can. But ultimately, because you're having to shop for most of your food, you are still dependent on these companies to provide good quality food. And when all these companies are sending their food out, and that goes from the farm to the distributor to a truck from another shipping company, from that shipping warehouse to another place to then get to the grocery, then to get back to your home, you cannot tell me that food is at the best quality. So my push and my press on for you is, are you worried about the broccoli and Lay's chips recalls and how dangerous they are for your health? I mean, you probably should be a little worried, but to be honest with you, you should be worried about everything that you put in your cart every time you go to these grocery stores, especially if you're not trying to buy the highest possible quality. Look, for the most part, we grow our own food. You know that. But even us, we will still go and we'll buy this and that here and there. If we do, I want to make sure it's of the best quality because my kids are eating this. We're eating this. So I want to make sure that they're getting the best quality. And so therefore, I'm not going to buy the cheapest. I'm not going to look for the ones that are owned by these companies as much. I'm going to try to find organic or non-GMO because does that mean it's more healthy? No. But it does mean that I'm trying. And I think that that's what we have to look for. It's not about taking over your whole sustainable food system and you becoming 100% sustainable and putting too much on you. But it is saying change these few things. You know, if you're drinking soft drinks, don't. If you're eating these chips, don't. If you're buying prepackaged food all the time, don't. Start doing 1%, 2%, 3%, 4% better each and every day, week, or month. And I promise you, you'll notice how bad your food system is broke once you look back and say, oh my gosh, I used to eat that. I think back when me and Misty were in high school, we'd date, we'd go to these little fast food places. We were broke and we were just high school kids. When I think back now, I'm thinking, how bad was it that we allowed ourselves to eat all that trash food? And really, I mean, why do we do that to ourselves? We've just always been raised like that. Our notion in our world is, well, we're not going to grow food anymore. There's nobody who hardly has gardens anymore. Everybody has to go to town and buy food. And so we just let our health fall to nothing, and we just eat this trash food. So it is encouraged to see Walmart is wanting to grow their market share in better quality grocery However, that almost is a catch-22, because it's like, well, that's great that you're doing that, but that means it's still going to be trucked in. It's still going to be placed in boxes. It's still going to go through 5,400 people's hands to get to your table. Now let's dive into the last story about Trump and what he is doing. So in the last 24 hours, he has fired all prosecutors that were handling J6. And even included the officers in security. He fired David Sundberg, which was the FBI assistant director at the helm of J6. 20 leaders of the FBI field offices have been escorted out of FBI buildings. Federal employees are now required to be in office, and he says if they're not in office, he will fire them. I love the fact that he offered a buyout, like a severance buyout, to pay for everybody's contracts to get to year end if you do not want to work for the federal government again. So it actually would save taxpayers, they said, upwards of $100 billion by a lot of these people taking the early buyouts. We would pay them off, but ultimately they would not be on the dole of the government. I want you to listen to this. This is where it's very important. This is why what Trump is doing is great. There's a new report that former senior advisor for the Federal Reserve, who was just fired because of this, John Rogers, has been arrested for leaking trade secrets to China. The Doge team discovered that among all the payments that these officers and people make in the government goes through the Treasury Department. I want you to listen to this. The highest ranking Treasury official, David Lebrick, is resigning rather than complying with Doge because Doge wanted access to audit for the trillions of dollars that we spend every year. So the Treasury is not even wanting to be audited for spending your money, my money. Why would career bureaucrats fear having audits done? Well, here's why. It came out that Doge saw payments that were fraudulent, and they were sent to known terror groups and known fraud. And guess what? They literally never denied a payment over his whole career. So meaning this guy allowed, and this guy and all his officials allowed for fraudulent payments, known fraud, terror payments to go out, and he never questioned it. See, that's what we don't want in our government anymore. We want people who will stand up and have the backbone to tell the truth and say, look, we don't want these kind of people in leadership. I think of the plane situation in D.C. They were half-staffed for air traffic controllers, and they said of that, look at over the last year, Matt Walsh brought this up a year ago, that most of them were not getting the training they needed to necessarily be on top of their game. There was almost a situation just like that one the day before, 24 hours before. So what Trump is doing, and he's made it known in the last 24 hours, is we're not playing games anymore. Pete Hegseth, in the last 24 hours, has banned NPR, New York Times, NBC, and other outlets like that, and allowed for more conservative outlets and open outlets and center-of-the-road outlets to be in the Department of Defense, so he can make sure that his news and the true news gets out. Also, he quit all this honoring of all these special months, because he said we're going to honor July 4th as the holiday for America, because that's what we fought for the freedom of America. We're not going to honor this month and this month and this month. We're going to honor America. So just in the last 24 hours, you see more safety with your dollar. The fact that they're exposing the fact of who's actually selling us out, such as this guy at the Treasury Department who literally never wanted an audit, and then he gave payments to terrorists. We have another guy in the Fed who was giving trade secrets to China, and we have an FBI who has been tainted, and most of those guys have been fired now and relieved their duties. This is what real leadership looks like. Now, I want you to pause just for a second before we end this video. The Rhinos, the establishment, the McConnells, the Collins, the Murkowskis, and then all the Democrats are up in arms about the firing of all these FBI agents, of all these people in government. So you tell me, why would they be upset for your taxpaying dollars to be stolen from you and be used for bad things like terror, like trade secrets to China? So they're aggressively fighting against your money to be used for bad things. Now you tell me, why in the world do we keep electing these people in Congress and in Washington when they're literally openly saying they want to take your tax dollars and use them for bad things and use them against you, like all this FBI was doing, and they want to make sure that China has the secrets of all the things that we're doing and no audits of your money, so there's no verification of truly where your money was spent. That's exactly what the Democrats and the rhinos are saying. So you wonder why they don't want RFK in? Because there's 15 companies that owns multi-billion-dollar industries that offer all food. You know why they don't want Trump to succeed or Pete Hegseth to succeed? Because they shut down all these crazy awareness months, and they said we're going to have 1 month to honor America with July 4th, Independence. You know why they don't like Trump? It's because he's getting rid of the people that actually don't do their job anymore in the government. That is the change that we're needing. It's encouraging to see. Great to see Walmart, Target, all these other companies coming back and kind of pulling back from their bad policy. Now, the sad thing is, if they're that wishy-washy, it scares me, because the next administration, if they're liberal, they'll go back and do the same thing. So what I want to see is America's so strong and so great that these companies realize this is what good leadership looks like, and we need to stick with it. That's what I'm hoping for. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Again, some encouraging things are happening, but it will always be an uphill battle, especially when we're battling the people that we're battling when it comes to establishment government that leads. Guys, again, we appreciate you so much for watching. Check out the other channels as you saw what food sustainability truly looks like just on those last 2 videos, as we raise our animals, process them, and we have sustainable living. We want to encourage you to do that too. Have a wonderful day. God bless.